But this is genuinely some of the worst code I've ever reviewed, and I didn't even explain or dive into every possible issue with it. Plus, if we remember all of Jason's hacking claims, guess what? You need to know these basic programming concepts if you want to do reverse engineering or malware analysis. This is the foundation nearly everything else builds off of. Taking all that into account, I think Jason has been lying through his teeth about all his coding abilities, all his assembly stories, and just making stuff up with terms he's heard thrown around. If I was working with Jason and I saw this type of code being repeatedly submitted, I would push for him to be fired, with my state of reasoning being gross incompetence.
Welcome back to the channel. 1.32. Yo, we're getting really close to 1.4 million signatures on the Stop Killing Games initiative, guys. If you haven't already, and you're in the EU, go sign up, right? We need 80,000, 72,000 of you to get to 1.4 million, right? Let's show the EU that we're effing serious, right? And again, we're trying to make a buffer for all of the signatures that are gonna get thrown out, right? Because some of you can't write your name wrong, right? Besides the point, go sign the initiative. Let's get it to 1.4, right? And let's up those numbers. Those are rookie numbers. All right.
Let's up those numbers!
More PirateSoftware stuff. The dude cannot stop taking L's. Even though he's been smart, he's only posting about his ferret addiction on X, right? He's been keeping quiet on X. Not so much on his Discord, so I've been told. He's crashing out on that, but I couldn't find any proper proof of that, so we're just gonna mention that. Grain of salt, bag of salt, right? I couldn't really find too much about it. I don't have spies in there, right? And I don't care either, let's be honest. He's taking massive L after massive L, getting his ass community noted about the whole mass review bomb thing, which every normal person, you knew that wasn't a thing, right? The only game that got review bombed was his own game, okay? Which is also a slight topic of debate recently, with people, they're destroying him over his code, and it's absolutely hilarious, because it also shines a light on how big his lies are, as you could tell by the intro, how big his lies are on his resume front, right? Mr. I've been a hacker for 20 years, and then you go look on his LinkedIn, and it's ignore what I highlighted. We'll get to that. At Blizzard Entertainment, remember, he was a Blizzard developer, guys. He worked at Blizzard, guys. Did you know he worked at Blizzard? What exactly did he do at Blizzard? Oh, he infiltrated and exploited physical access controls. If you don't know what that is, I got you covered. Physical access control is a security measure that regulates who can enter and move within a physical space like a building or a room. What else did he do? Managed social engineering operations to improve employee awareness and resilience. If you don't know what that is, I got you covered. Social engineering is the term used for a broad range of malicious activities accomplished through human interactions. And that's the biggest giveaway, okay? Let me translate what this means. Okay? This means this guy hasn't done a goddamn thing in his life that involved hacking. Okay? What he does is he goes up to people and he then manipulates them into giving him access into a room that he's not supposed to be in, into giving him information that he's not supposed to have. That is what he did. And don't get me wrong, that is still an important part of security. However, it doesn't make you a hacker. Okay? It makes you really good at manipulating people, though. Which is kind of weird, because isn't that what everyone accuses you of? Right? Everyone is accusing you of being a massive manipulator and completely misrepresenting things. Weird how that lines up exactly with what's on your resume, right? Very, very peculiar. Now, to get back to that little highlighted part that I had open, alright? Off-brand games. He got bullied off of off-brand games, right? Supposedly. What did he do at off-brand game? He managed global monetization prices for games and microtransactions within games. Gee, I wonder why this guy doesn't like the Stop Killing Games initiative. I can't put my finger on it. It's such a mystery. It's an enigma wrapped in a mystery, guy. Oh my god. No one can figure it out. Obviously, ain't no one like this shit. So much so that he's, I don't want to say hemorrhaging, he's lost a ton of subs, right? It's not the end of the world for him, let's make that very clear. I'm just here to laugh at the fact that he lost subs. It's not gonna impact him all that much. He had 2.6 million subs. Now he's got 2.4 something million subs. Alright, it's not a big deal. However, in terms of chunk lost, it's a massive deal, dude. I cannot name a single other person that pops into my mind who has lost 100,000 YouTube subscribers in 2 weeks. I don't think even iDubbbz lost that many subscribers. And that is a lot. Okay? But here's the thing as well. iDubbbz is smart enough to keep his fucking mouth shut, unlike his wife, right? She can't help it, okay? But now, after all this, PirateSoftware is starting to be smart enough and is shutting the fuck up on Twitter, right? I mean, he's blocked 90% of Twitter and 90% of Twitch, so yeah, it's not that hard. That being said, right? I cannot remember anyone else that has lost so many people, dude. Like, and it's legit. Like, he lost 140k. Again, he's got 2.4 million, right? He'll be fine. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, that is a massive drop, dude. And if that continues, ooh, it could start impacting him. But right now, drop in the bucket, right? Make that very clear. Twitch, he's also losing viewers. Nearly 50,000 Twitch followers in the past 30 days gone. Like, my man, you drew a line in the sand and it was definitely not where you should have drawn it, right? And everyone, I mean, I've been harping on PirateSoftware for like a year now, right? It's like ever since the World of Warcraft thing and then the Ashes of Creation thing came out and then the Second Life Maldavia's Victory shit came out. Like, holy shit. All right, we've been harping on PirateSoftware for quite a long time. But the Stop Killing Games thing put him in the mainstream, alright? Nobody gives a fuck about channels like mine, about even 50k sub channels that were calling him out at the time as well. Like, nobody gives a fuck, right? It's just drama. We're just here for some laughs and some shits and giggles, right? It doesn't really... no big deal. But when Asmongold starts talking about you, when Penguins Zero starts talking about you, when Notch, the most successful indie developer, creator of Minecraft, starts talking about you, you done fucked up, son. Alright? So obviously, right, he's been hemorrhaging. That's not really the right, kind of. Subs and viewers, right? And we'll see if it continues. But I mean, this is what happens when you're directly aligned with corporate lobbyists, right? Like, of course, the Video Games Europe also getting community noted. Technically, it's Dexerto, but it's in response to what Video Games Europe says here. So it's kind of weird, but this tweet got community noted over a quote, and they're community noting the quote, not Dexerto. Kind of weird, I get it, but that's what happened. Stop Killing Games is not denying video games their right to discontinue online services. The initiative is merely asking for their games to remain in a functional, playable state after support is ended. This is what PirateSoftware was lying about as well. These guys are lying about the same thing as PirateSoftware. I find it very peculiar. Like, I've always thought the industry plant thing was a bit of a lark, right? It's a funny dig at someone who's clearly in love with himself, right? But dude, the way the actual corporate lobbyists are one lining up with what PirateSoftware is saying, it might actually be true, dude. Like, I'm starting to wonder. I'm starting to put question marks next to it because it might actually be legit. Okay. I mean, they chose the dumbest plan possible, right? Because the guy is gonna expose himself by being himself, right? A massive narcissist. But it's starting to look like maybe those guys had a point, right? Like, wow. How are you lining up 1-1 with corporal lobbyists? That seems a little sus. I'm not saying anything. I'm just pointing shit out. That being said, we should talk about the intro, right? Source code is being absolutely ripped apart, line by line, of the small snippets that he showed, and everyone that is looking into it is like, oh my god, this is absolutely horrifically bad code. Like, this guy would ask for Thor to be fired out of, what was it, gross negligence and gross incompetence? Like, holy shit. That is the most savage one I've heard yet. All right. But what I wanted to highlight is that this guy makes a really good point, man. He doesn't know how to do the simplest thing. And he's supposed to be like this 20-year hacker? Bro, I don't believe you for a second, man. Like, it's absolutely... The guy's embarrassing himself at this point, right? And he doesn't even need to do anything anymore because he's been lying about it for years, right? Oh, I was a Blizzard employee. Bitch, please. At first you were a QA tester, and then you had to talk to people to get them to let you into rooms you're not supposed to be in. Blizzard developer, my ass. Like, he's using all these things to paint a picture that is just completely and utterly untrue, devoid of actual reality. And people are starting to like catch on, which is why he's losing, you know, thousands and thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands. The man has gotten tens of thousands of death threats while you're losing tens of thousands of subscribers as well. So, rip. It's not so fun when the shoe is on your foot, is it? And we're gonna be here to laugh, man. I guarantee you, this is not gonna be the end of the story, right? I expect him to not be so quiet. I mean, he's far too much of a narcissist. His ego is way too big. He is definitely either gonna crash out in Discord. I really gotta look for those. Like, if I find them, I'm immediately making a video. He's gonna crash out on Discord. He's gonna crash out on Twitter. He's gonna crash out on his stream. Like, somehow, sometime, somewhere, this guy is gonna start talking about this, and it's gonna go immediately again, because he just can't stop, right? He couldn't stop with the World of Warcraft shit. He was banning people for saying Monetization in his chat, bro. Like, thin-skinned loser, bro. Like, dude, just roll with the punches. Again, like in the last video, 5 words would have saved your ass completely, and no one would have even looked into your code, right? It would just be like, because the whole PirateSoftware codes is garbage. That's been around for quite a while. But the fact that actual developers are now looking into it is very new, okay? And all you had to do was say, I was wrong, I'm sorry. 5 words! These 5 words would have solved everything, and none of what's happening now would be happening. And this is, once again, the current internet culture that we have and that I absolutely love. And it's called Fuck Around and Find Out. Welcome to the Finding Out phase, PirateSoftware. Thank you so much. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Follow me on kick.com/Parash, twitch.tv/Parash, or at Randy O'Brien with an A. O'Brien with an A. On Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Peace the hell out, and I'll see you on the next PirateSoftware video. Peace!